Welcome back to Toyless, friends, and in my never-ending and seemingly fruitless quest for Spider-Man toys, look what I have come across. I kid you not, 7 targets in the last 2 weeks, and some of them multiple times I have been to. You guys know how it is, trying to catch that thing, man. You have like a one-day window. But look at this window box, man. How dare they? From the juicy hogs over at NECA, look at this son of a gun. Man, that's nice. Nice promotional picture in here. These are some fantastic shots, too. Not like that weird-ass promotional picture of the animated series Wolverine where someone's pulled the belt down all the way above his junk. What's going on there? Teaser for Bride of Frankenstein. Who else would that be? Casey Jones, right? Check. Yeah, that is a fantastic piece. This box is a work of art. Pay no attention to the people behind the curtain. No, I'm kidding. Do. Check them out. Do you know what I mean? But it is, at the end of the day, just a box. Let's get into it. Okay, right out of the package, we have Raphael as Frankenstein's monster. And this thing is just a knockout. Look at that. I mean, the detail work and everything that's gone into this. It is a work of art. It is truly beautiful. This freakish thing. Sort of harkens back to the days, the old Playmates Ninja Turtle line, when they did like a mashup in the same vein. And these days, NECA has the license to Ninja Turtles and Universal Monsters, so it's perfect. You know what I mean? Sort of a no-brainer. If you get in here tighter on this sculpt, though, this thing is just... Look at this face. It looks like it's, made out of things other than plastic. The drooping eyes and his teeth and his head, it's all split and stuck together, put back together, stitches at the neck and all this piping. I don't need to specifically state every single thing I see, right? You guys are looking at this. Gauges and dials and things and like smoked out effects on there to make it look just like weathered garbage. Sorry, bro, we put you back together out of weathered garbage. He has been through the ringer. Patchwork, jacket, some signature Ninja Turtle stuff, like, who would slip these elbow pads over the guy, right? He's just made out of different pieces of different corpses, different turtle corpses. This is actual links here in a chain that kind of moves a little bit on this. Big fat handles all over the thing where you could plug his size that we'll take a look at in a bit. I didn't even need to say that, right? You guys knew that we would. Look at these things here, man. The platform shoes, turtle toe shaped. Just creep fingers. The texturing and the paintwork on this thing. Bandana back here, another big gauge. And a big handle here, holding it all in place. He could grab him by that sucker. Piece of a sewer lid patching in the turtle shell. How absolutely fitting. This thing is just... It is so dope. Just look at it. All right, taking a look at the articulation. It's fairly middle of the road for this kind of thing, with a couple of surprises. Not both of them nice, though. So, starting up at the head here, it's on a ball peg, and look at that. You get the neck, too. The neck actually moves. I thought maybe I could talk about them separately, but you're going to see it moving. So, because of that, you can look back a good bit here. Watch out for the bandana. It binds up there. And that is actually an extra point of articulation. It's just pegged in there. It's very soft material. Okay, and you're going to be able to look down a pretty good amount. You see that neck will come forward and help you with that, which is nice. He's supposed to be standing pretty tall, a Frankenstein's monster, It, of course, will rotate around on that sucker. And you get really nice tilt, too, for these more disturbing, unsettling poses. That's going to be key there. I'm really glad they put a lot of attention into that aspect of it. See, this neck is just pegged down inside of there. Mind the hose. So coming down here, you get the shoulders. They're just on ball joints, and you can see that healthy hinge there. These will both come all the way up to the side like so, and it will swing all the way around. Down here at the elbow, it is double jointed. However, it's got this elbow piece in the way. That pad is a softer material, but you'll bind against it and it'll kind of spring back. So you don't get as much as the articulation would dictate, though it is, the pins are hidden. They're in this sort of third piece, and that allows you to rotate it there, which is great. Not like, say, a Hasbro figure where it's like a hinge piece in there joining it, and it doesn't allow for that. These are going to be the same on both sides. You get this nice healthy hinge at the wrist that is just pegged in there. So you can bring that back quite a ways and in a good bit as well. Nothing to really hinder that. Now here's where it gets weird. They've done that thing that you'll more commonly see, I think, on McFarlane toys, where it's a soft piece at the waist. There's nothing behind there. Nothing behind there, all this sculpting, and it's just, I get it if it doesn't need it, and he is stuck to this turtle shell, so it's not like you could really convincingly ab crunch and things like that anyway, but still, it just, that feels a little cheap when they do that. You can look up in there, though, and you can see, that this piece is socketed in here, the waist piece, and so you'll get some twist there, but it's sort of round peg and an oval slot, so you're not really going to get that to rotate all the way around unless you really force that, maybe. Now, the legs are on a ball joint, so they're going to come out surprisingly far, actually. This is soft material. It kind of gets out of the way, but it will push back. It doesn't have an upper thigh cut, but it will rotate on that ball, so you can achieve a lot of the same effect there. This will keep you from kicking all the way up, or from holding it there. It will come back on you. You can go back a good bit. You're going to run into the shell. Double jointed knees, but an even bigger pad here sort of prevents you from getting too much out of that. You can see the pin down here, but again, the way this is segmented, you can rotate it there. So that's a nice bonus. The thing is, these are NECA, and not to knock them in that regard, but you guys all know it can be a little more fragile. If you feel like you're going to break the leg, you might well. So be careful with that. I did put this guy in front of the heater for a minute. The feet are on these nice hinges as well, and they'll come back this far and forward to pretty much just the 90 on these big platform boots. But it does have actual rocker, and that's fantastic. So the articulation is decent. It's perfectly serviceable. You're probably going to be rocking a lot of more upright, monstrous, stiff poses anyway, you know? Yeah. Arg. Now, for the accessories, you kind of tell yourself that he's sort of wearing a lot of them, a lot of this extra detail work. Because otherwise, he just comes with a couple extra pairs of hands. The open ones that came on the figure, as well as gripping hands for his size, and a couple of fists. See, we tried to change up the display so you can see what we're talking about here. Now, these really are fantastic, though. These size, this is a very nice touch. They're lightning bolt shaped, and they have the sort of balls like they are, like Tesla coils, say. Getting closer to that, though. Mind the damage to my appendages. I guess we fit right in, huh? This is perfect. This is really cool, though. This is very unique. They're just, they're a little on the brittle side, so watch getting them in and out of here, and watch, say, swinging the legs while they're in. Very, very nice accessories. These hands are just, of course, exquisitely detailed, just like you would expect, just like the rest of the figure. Would I sue for even more? I absolutely would, especially at this price point, which we'll get into here in a bit. As far as how much of his faculties as Raphael he retains in this form, I have no idea. Obviously, he'd need some sort of competence to wield these sai, right? I suppose that's up for you to decide. You can see some sort of understanding, some kind of dead understanding in these eyes. Something monstrous. Frankenraff here stands about 7 1/8 inches tall. Okay, kicking off the comparisons with a couple other iterations of Raphael from NECA Toys, we have the 4-pack cartoon Raphael and the 2-pack movie Raphael. Next, we have the vintage Playmates Raphael and the Playmates highly articulated retro throwback. That thing is a monstrosity. Here are a couple other monstrosities from the cartoon line, the Pizza Monster and Krang in his android body. My body! And then from the first movie, we have Casey Jones come to see what's become of his friend. And from the second movie, that magnificently mutated Super Shredder. Isn't that Kevin Nash in there? He's pissed. Whoever that is, he's pissed. For a McFarlane Toys comparison, we have The Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter. And the recently reviewed Batman from The Batman.
I'm a genius.
And because I love my Marvel Legends, here is Captain America as a werewolf and Eric Larson's Frankenstein, the cyborg Spider-Man. I was going to throw in the zombie Cap, but I don't know where he is, man. I looked everywhere. We have had some wild adventures, man. He could be anywhere. That figure is great. And for a little tease of something else I'm working on, here is Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme. As well as the recently reviewed Thing, a real monster mash. It's clobbering time. And because this asshole's toy parade doesn't end without him, the Marvel Legends 2 Emo for Pizza Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Morning Coffee Mostly Bucky Cap Deadpool. We're looking for your replacement, Skinny. So, what it is when the monster dust settles. Girl, what it look like? Well, for starters, this thing is just stunning. You might be hard-pressed to see it on the shelf and pass it up. NECA has really gone all out on the details. From the texturing, to the paint, to the tiny little chain. There was some love that went into this. The articulation is alright for a NECA. You're not going to see anything you haven't seen. And you might be missing some of the things you've seen elsewhere. But, outside of the admittedly meager accessories, he doesn't feel terribly delicate, so that's nice. So, is Raphael as Frankenstein's monster worth the money? That's sort of the point of contention for me. This thing is $36.99 retail. When I was a kid, Ninja Turtles were $3.99. A lot has changed since then, for sure, but some of NECA's pricing seems arbitrary. I'm sure Randy could explain it all to me. But it's like, regular Ninja Turtles are typically sold in 2-packs, used to be about $26 per figure, and deluxes with a ton of stuff would be $30. But newer 2-packs are $60, and individual NECA figures from other lines will vary from $30 to $33 to $37. I saw a Terminator at Walmart with a handful of accessories for $47. It almost feels like they're just trying to see what they can get away with. But if that's what it costs, that's what it costs. You know it's going to be more on the secondary market. I feel like 90% good with the purchase. 4.5 out of 5. This thing is horrifyingly good. As always, I appreciate you being here. And you can lick those toy lips on Instagram and Twitter and right here on this very channel. So leave a like and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.
I got fingers on my lips. Toys that I'm touching, I don't want to put them down. I still don't want to talk about them. Yes, fresh. Smell the plastic that I crave. I want to shop. I can't be having Bruce Banner. I'm Dr. Rubber Band on Bruce Jenner. And you can call me after dinner. We can talk comic books, but we're here to talk toys. Be proud, make noise.